Oh yeah, so the ayah has meaning, but Allah also says worldly life is nothing but a game. But worldly life actually means, this is why context is so important in the Quran. When Allah says worldly life is nothing but a game and entertainment, He's actually talking about how people think that the experiences you're having in this life are somehow permanent, or you get lost in them to the point where you can't see beyond them. Like, for example, when somebody's having a problem, then it's hard for them to think beyond that problem, to step beyond that problem. You understand? And what's the thing what happens in a game is that a game has a limited beginning and an ending, and then reality strikes, right? So a comparison is being made on how temporary the issues in this world are. But while that's one side of the equation, on the other side of the equation, of course, وَمَا مَتَاعُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. Worldly life is nothing compared to the next life, right? That's a reality. At the same time, this limited worldly reality has extremely valuable lessons in it, right? And extremely valuable. And those lessons are the ones that give meaning to both this life and connect it to the next life, that they tie them together. And we have to live that dichotomy, because one extreme that happens in religions and even in some Muslims is this world is nothing. That's an extreme. That is not the Quran. That is not the Sunnah. If this world is nothing, then you mean your mother is nothing, your father is nothing, your children are nothing. Then prayer is nothing, because that's in this world. The Kaaba is nothing, and then everything is nothing. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. No, but this world compared to the next is nothing means whatever I do in this life should be of some benefit also in the next life, or at least not violate the next life. That's the point of it. But and the insignificance of this world does not take away from it giving us significant direction anyway, right? So both of those things go hand in hand. And it does save us from a really terrible extreme, because when you start saying this dunya is nothing, I just want akhirah, then you haven't understood Allah's book. Why did Allah say, go look at the mountain, look at this beautiful fruit that I'm giving you, وَالنَّخْلُ ذَاتُ الْأَكْمَامِ وَالْحَبُّ ذُو الْعَصْفِ وَالرَّيْحَانِ, like look at this beautiful smell and the breeze, look at this tree with the fruits that have covers on them, and you say, Ya Allah, thanks, but it's nothing. Nothing. مَرَجَ الْبَحْرَيْنِ يَلْتَقِيَانِ, nothing. Dummy, read the Quran. Okay, so I've noticed something. Every time somebody goes to an extreme, it's because they're distant from the Quran. Every time. Quran, it'll mention something, but it'll balance it. They'll mention something, then it'll balance it. And if you don't have that balance, you'll go either swing this way or swing that way. And your worldview gets really twisted. Okay? Oh, the empty heart? Okay. Oh, you're recording it too? That takes the pressure off. Yeah. This is great. So briefly, my thoughts on this. I've talked about this before, but briefly for you guys, I tend to believe that human beings are complicated creatures that have multiple components to them: an intellectual component, a spiritual component, an emotional component, and a physical component. I'll say that again: intellectual, emotional, spiritual, and physical. At least these four, right? And the problem is, if, for example, you are living a decent life, but you know intellectually you're capable of much more, you're not exercising your mind to its fullest, you will still be dissatisfied. Something is missing. Even if you're praying spiritually, emotionally, all your relationships are okay, physically you're in good health, intellectually there's a gap, and it leaves you with an emptiness. Similarly, there are people that are intellectually fulfilled, they are spiritually on point, they are physically okay, but emotionally they've got some problem. They have a terrible relationship with their mother. They don't get along with their spouse. Or they have a deep sadness inside them because of something that happened and they're never able to cope with it. Something like that. There's something missing. So this time, it's not the spiritual or the physical that's missing, it's the emotional that's missing. Other times, it's the physical, like you're sick. Right? Now, the thing is, these four things are not four different boxes in myself. These are connected to each other. So when I'm fasting, for example, I sleep a lot. Okay? And you know what? When I'm fasting, I'm not able to concentrate and study as much. I'm just not able to do it. So the physical affected my what?